Once upon a time, a 4chan post was made. This post detailed a very scientific research thesis on why Vaporeon is the most breedable Pokemon to have ever existed. In December of last year, I made an animation where I went over the 4chan post. It's honestly not that great of a video, but for some reason it's my third most viewed video. For the longest time, the term Vaporeon meme was one of my channel's highest, even after Miitopia declared war. So you know what? I gotta give the people what they want. We're going to look at what makes Vaporeon breedable and see if we can apply to the other evolutions. Today, we will rank the evolutions by their breedableness. This is for you, Candidate Library Book. With this video, may the Queen keep her place. The 4chan post gave the following reasons. Vaporeon is in the field egg group, which mostly includes mammals. Vaporeon is about 3 feet 3 inches tall and weighs 63.9 pounds, making it large enough to handle a human penis. Their high HP stat and access to defense buffing moves allows you to be as rough as you want. Their body is mostly water, which makes them naturally wet, increasing the amount of time you can ride one. They have infatuation moves, allowing them to turn you on. And finally, their abilities makes it easy for Vaporeon to regain stamina. So with this information, we can see what applies to the other evolutions. Right away, some move points are the egg groups, high in weight, and move poles. Since all evolutions on the field egg group are roughly the same size, and all learn infatuation moves, but not all learn defense buffing moves. So we'll keep that in mind. And we won't be talking about Eevee. Even if we did, Eevee would go at the bottom of the list. Come on guys, Eevee is a baby. Just don't. Now we can start ranking evolutions on their HP. Obviously, Vaporeon is going to take top spot here. Its base 130 HP is higher than any other evolution. Afterwards, Umbreon and Sylveon are tied for second, and the rest are all in last place. I'll be honest, I never really noticed before, but it's kinda weird that 5 of the evolutions have the same HP stat. You'd think there would be a little more variety, though maybe I shouldn't be too surprised. If you know anything about the evolutions, then you know they all have the same base stat total. More importantly, they have different combinations of the same stats. 130, 110, 95, 60, and 265 stats. So you know what? Fair enough. There are only so many combinations, so you're bound to have some repeats. Now for the point system I used. In the case of HP, we have 1 Pokemon in first place, 2 tied in second, and 5 in third. So we'll give Vaporeon 3 points, Umbreon and Sylveon 2 points, and the rest will only get 1. This is how I'll be giving out points, unless it's a yes or no question, in which case 1 point for yes and 0 points for no. Now let's continue. Vaporeon can learn Acid Armor. So who else can learn defense buffing moves? Well, there's Vaporeon, and that's it. No one else can learn defense buffing moves, but we'll give a half point to Espeon and Sylveon, as they can at least learn Reflect, a move that halves all damage. But the reason it's a half point and not a full point is because I can't tell if this would help or not. In the anime, moves like Reflect are shown as a barrier, which I'm pretty sure would make breeding difficult, so we'll give a half point for now, but we can always remove it later. But you know what? I don't think that's fair. I mean, sure, Vaporeon can learn Acid Armor and the others can't, but what about natural defense? Which evolution has the most natural endurance? Well, that'll be Leafeon with base 130 defense. In second place is Umbreon and Glaceon, surprisingly, with base 110 defense. In third is Sylveon, and the rest all tied in last. So arguably, and no surprise here for competitive players, Umbreon will last longer than Vaporeon. It has nearly double the natural defense, and Umbreon still has a lot of HP. Maybe that's why Vaporeon needs Acid Armor. So if we combine the HP and defense stats, we get Umbreon with the highest total, followed by Leafeon, Vaporeon in third, Glaceon in fourth, Sylveon in fifth, and the rest tied in last. So if you're looking for natural endurance, then Umbreon's your gal. Now let's look at the physiology of the evolutions. Because a big point the 4chan post made was about how Vaporeon is mostly water, which in theory would allow a man to last longer in the daycare. So because of this, we gotta give Vaporeon 2 points. Because not only can you breed it, but its physiology actually improved the quality of the breeding. Flareon, Espeon, Umbreon, Leafeon, and Sylveon get 1 point, as they don't have anything that would worsen or improve the experience. Can't say the same about Jolteon or Glaceon though. Jolteon being spiky and having an electric body? Yeah, that won't turn out well. And Glaceon having ice cold body won't be doing any favors. Next we need to ask, can easy regain stamina? Vaporeon has Water Absorb and Hydration. Water Absorb will heal Vaporeon when hit with a water move, and Hydration will remove stats ailments under rain, which I guess means you can pour a bucket of water on Vaporeon, making it even wetter, and it'll be ready for round 2. So which evolutions have an ability like this? Well, only Glaceon really. Glaceon has Ice Body for hidden ability, so I guess you just pour a bucket of ice on it? Anyways, we'll also give half points to Jolteon and Flareon. Jolteon has Lightning Rod and Flareon has Flash Fire. But there's a reason it's only a half point, and it's because it won't be as easy to regain their stamina. I mean, you'll need a car battery charger for Jolteon, which as alluded to before will make Jolteon more risky, and not in the way you might want. And with Flareon, you run the risk of burning your house down. But before we continue, I would argue that we could also give a half point to Espeon, Umbreon, and Leafeon. While they don't have abilities that can help them regain stamina, they can learn moves that can help them continue. Espeon can learn Morning Sun, Umbreon can learn Moonlight, and Leafeon can learn Synthesis. The reason these are half points is because it can't do them passively. So with all of those covered, let's go over some final positives and negatives. These won't give out points. They're just to help with your consideration. Vaporeon has the easiest way to regain stamina, and said method will allow you to last longer. But Aquatic waifus aren't everyone's cup of tea. Vaporeon learns Double Kick through level up, giving it Step on Me vibes. But Jolteon is the most dangerous evolution. Flareon is the fluffiest evolution, making it the softest and most cuttable. But with it being a fire type, you may have to worry about the bedroom being set on fire. Espeon and Umbreon are both friendship evolutions, which means they will be the most loyal and loving evolutions. However, they also have the Synchronize ability, and Espeon also has Magic Bounce, which might lead to you getting pregnant, strangely enough. But speaking of abilities, Leafeon has the Chlorophyll ability, which will increase their speed during the daytime. So whether you're a top or a bottom, if you're into day sex and you're in for a wild ride. Though the half-grass physiology might not be for everyone. Glaceon is the most frail evolution, making Glaceon the quiet waifu that must be protected. But again, it also has a literal ice-cold body, which may make things more complicated. And finally is Sylveon. Along with being a friendship affection evolution, Sylveon also has the Q-Charm ability, giving it a passive way to infatuate you. The negative is that it always wears a bow, so unless you're into doing it clothed, well, you know. And now for the moment you've all been waiting for. The point total that will definitively tell us which evolution is the most breedable, as decided by my arbitrary point system. And using this point system, we can conclude that Vaporeon is not the most breedable Pokemon. Instead, that title goes to Umbreon, with 12.5 points out of 17. Vaporeon has to instead settle for runner-up position, with just 12 points. Leafeon closely behind with 11.5 points, followed by Glaceon with 8 points, Sylveon with 7.5 points, Espeon with 5 points, Flareon with 4.5, and Jolteon last, with only 3.5 points. Here's the chart I made with my data. Using my own metrics, Umbreon is the true most breedable Pokemon. It has more natural endurance, and as a friendship evolution, you two will have a strong, unbreakable bond. Right? You know what? No. Arbitrary data isn't everything. Who am I to say who the most breedable Pokemon is? What control does a 4chan post have? Everyone has their own most breedable Pokemon. For some, maybe it is Vaporeon. For others, another evolution, maybe a classic Poke waifu. And for me, it's a sexy bug mommy. Have a nice day, you wonderful people. By the way, can we just talk about how the Vaporeon meme made it all the way here? Like, of all Pokemon memes, this is the one people still reference to this day. When I made that original video, I honestly thought I was late to the party, which maybe was true to an extent, but people are still referencing the Vaporeon meme. And as mentioned, Vaporeon related search terms are some of my channel's highest. So honestly, I am proud of this community. Please don't let the flame die out.